Come On Ye Spurs TV is our own channel where we discuss everything Spurs. By everything Spurs, I mean literally everything Spurs. Today, we are going to discuss all of, I mean, the new season is just upon us, like we all know. And with the new season upon us, it means there's so much to look forward to. The season starts today, and those folks down the road, we won't mention their name here, um, are playing against Crystal Palace. You know, managed by one of their chaps as well. So yeah, um, no, we can expect what the result will be, but hey, and they probably sell that game out to them. I didn't say that, but you know, that's anyway. Right, so that's the season starting, but the proper season starts for us tomorrow, and we're gonna look at that and much more. We're looking at the rumors, looking at the news, deals that are still in the pipeline, signings that we might get, and of course some people might actually go as well, and some deals are also being finalized in the course of the coming days. So plenty to look forward to, plenty to talk about. Tonight with me is Chuma. Chuma, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Sochi. Good evening, Spurs Nation, Spurs family. Welcome to Come On Ye Spurs TV. Start of a new season. It just seems like yesterday we beat Norwich to secure fourth, and here we are, starting a new season with lots of optimism this year.
Yeah, it
We've
sounds,
had a proper preseason under Conte, so
sounds totally unreal, doesn't it? Eh? I said it sounds
completely.
totally unreal, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Like they say once you go past 30 years of age, time moves forward very quickly. So I'm
I know.
guessing
Anyway, if you're
that
joining us for the
that's
first time, this is Come On You Spurs TV. Go to YouTube. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button that you see at the bottom of your screen. Or if you also need to get notified anytime we go live, you'd also see the bell button at the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and that would enable you to get notified anytime we go live. And yeah, so welcome your comments, share this, and like it as well. The more comments we have, the more people um, get to know about this channel. So let's make it go viral with your help and your support. We thank you all for who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please go to the channel and subscribe on YouTube. And if you share with your family, friends, and colleagues and acquaintances, that will be also fantastic. Right, we've done a bit of housekeeping. Let's just move on very, very quickly. So, where do we start? Tomorrow we are starting away at. Sorry, well, actually at home. Actually, we're
no,
at home.
we're playing at home.
Yeah, we're playing
Yes.
at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're playing Southampton at home. Now, tell me, what do you reckon? Where do we even start? Okay, let's start with the team news for starters. Um, News is that, I mean, everyone is fit apart from Skip. Skip picked up an injury. He's got a hairline fracture, what we're told, on his foot, and owing to training ground incidents. Bisuma, I also got told, was a little bit out of sorts, but according to Conte in his news conference yesterday, he said he's available, but we'll see. I mean, just to be sure, they'll assess him again later on today or first thing in the morning. So I expect that he'll be part of the squad that plays tomorrow. So yeah, pretty much full strength squad available to choose from. It then means that we have what we might call a very, very good selection problem, and then we then have potentially a strong bench. And the other thing also, though, is that Richarlison is suspended. Suspension is picked up while he was at Everton, so that's a bit of a shame, but it's something that we've got to live with.
Yeah, indeed.
Chuma,
Well,
sorry, what did you say? You were saying something.
no, I was saying it's such a shame because I think Conte would have loved to give Richarlison, like, allow him make his bow in front of the home crowd.
I
It would
know,
have
right?
been a much better thing. But then if you think about it, our next game, without skipping too far ahead, is against Chelsea at the Bridge, and he's a feisty character. Those are the kind of people you need in that game as well coming on. So I'd rather have him for Chelsea, and even if he misses the Southampton game, that's
Right. So in terms of the starting 11, this was the last starting 11 we had in our last match, presumably. All right. This is the last on the last match we had this as our starting 11, right? Now,
yes.
um, tell me, tell me, what do you reckon is going to change on this starting 11? In my view,
I
in my view,
Yeah, go on.
here's my view. I think we're probably going to have what's it what Sanchez not there. We'll probably start with Langley.
Hmm?
He'll probably also start with what's the word? Um, Doherty
Harrison.
as right back. I think that those are the two changes from this team, from this list that I think we're gonna start with tomorrow. Oh, sorry, and it will start with definitely start with Perisic instead of Setien. What do you reckon?
Um, I think Davis trained fully, so I think Davis might come back instead of Longley. But if not Davis, Longley, but not Sanchez. So I agree with you that Sanchez won't start. I think he will keep Emerson Royale. I don't think it's going to be Doherty. Doherty and Perisic. I've listened to comments from Conte, and he's more or less saying that their fitness isn't 100% because they're still more on the mode of recovery from the injuries they suffered at the end of their individual season. Perisic for Inter, Doherty for Spurs. So I think Emerson Royale will stay. I think Perisic instead of Sessegnon. I think that would be the move. So everyone else stays the same. So I agree with that.
Okay, so yeah, it's in terms of that midfield, right? Some people say that Bissouma may actually start, and in either in place of what's the word, Bentacore. Um, what do you think?
I think Benson Core is by far and wide our best central midfielder in terms of how the game flows and how Conte's patterns work. I think he's the best. So if anyone is going to be moved, it's going to be Højbjerg, in my opinion. But I think it's going to be Højbjerg and Bentancur starting. I don't think Bissouma. I think Bissouma would probably be on the bench if he's fully fit, and I still think he's whatever injury he's carrying. I think it's still there, so he wouldn't be risked as such. But I think it's going to be Højbjerg and Bentancur.
Interesting, interesting. Right. So that's for me is one of these difficult things for manager, and that's what he's paid to do. He's paid to make the
Mm,
um, important decisions. I mean, I know that in most managers will tell you, I mean, play to your strength, but hey, don't even worry about the position. You know, they
mm,
play to what we decide. Not so I'm not going to worry about what I mean how they come at us, right? However, I saw one goal. I wish I could have. I wish I had a clip of that goal to play of that young man, Aribo, who plays for Southampton. You know, we're not going to spend too much time on them, but let's just have a quick look at, at him. And hang on, what do you reckon? You think it might be a handful for back line?
I think so. I think he's playing out. I saw the goal as well. Awesome goal. Some people said I read somewhere someone said it was a bit of a fluky goal, but no, he has control. He has skill, and he plays out. I think Hassan Huto, the Southampton manager, is playing him out on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So our left side has to be so solid. Hence the reason I say Perisic and Longley or Davies, one of the two, to more or less handle him a bit more. And then someone like Højbjerg is needed because he could shield. Bentancur could be on the other side as well. So Aribo is someone to watch. Set pieces and James Ward-Prowse as always.
Yeah.
Um, and striker wise, I think they're in a bit of I think they're in a bit of a mix in terms of their strikers because they're one of their strikers they had last season. I don't know if he scored against us last. Shea Adams. Shea Adams is about to be sold,
Okay.
so they're in flux up front. But defensively as well, they're a bit thing. But our former player Carl Walker Peters, he's had a very good preseason by all accounts as well. So Aribo, Carl Walker Peters, James Ward Prowse, those are the three people I look at and say they could be they could prove to be a bit sticky for Spurs. But beyond that, I'll be honest, I'm very optimistic. I think it's a Spurs win for me.
Okay. I mean, I was just going to come to predictions, and you sort of nailed it there. Spurs win. Are you going to risk a score or um, come up with a score line that you think would happen?
I wouldn't go for a scoreline, but I also think that tomorrow would be a bit of a coming out party for Kulusevski. I think Kulusevski is really trying to. I think he wants to set his mark. That look, I'm a very very good player. I think somewhere along the line, I've watched him in this preseason, and I've watched how he's always tried to do certain things. Maybe not, he didn't work against Roma, but against Rangers, I watched him and I was like, this guy, he's upped his game, he's upped his level, and I think tomorrow, I hope we get a good glimpse of him. Kane and Son, I'm not worried about. I think Kane scores against Southampton. That's one of the things he does. He scores against Southampton. It's a thing. Sonny as well has good games. Well, Kane always scores against Leicester. I think against Southampton as well. They're two teams that are like his babies. So
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think we will win. Um, I think we'll probably score a handful of goals. You're right. Kulusevski is. I think this season is going to be a big revelation. I mean, even though I mean last season he just showed the sort of class that he's got. He's got very very good finishing. He's lethal. I mean, coming back onto that left foot, cutting from the right. The only thing I don't know though is that it's almost so predictable when it comes to that style of play. But sometimes it's one of these things about very good players, right? You know what they're going to do,
you know what they're going to do. Yeah, but you can't stop it.
but you can't stop that. So
It's,
I think Kulusevski is one of those type of players who, that's what he's going to
yeah,
do, but you just can't stop him. And yeah, I think we're lucky to have him. Him and Bentaco came in just at the right time, and it's not usual for people to settle in uh, the way they have, and they've done it just sort of better in like taken to the like taken to the team like dogs on water. That was quite good to and pleasing to see for the team. And I think this season, if we get um, all our new players to gel and to work properly with the team, we have a really really good squad. And I think the other thing also has always been for Spurs. I mean, for most what you might call um, the non-City, non-Liverpool type squads, whereby, I mean, and Chelsea as well, because with Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, you almost like have two top class players in every position, you know, and that's what we've come to sort of begin to see in Spurs now. Every position now has two top names, and that means that I mean you can bring up people from the bench, you can change systems, you can have different types of play. If things are not going well the way you want them to go, change it,
switch it.
and
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
options on the bench to change it with.
yeah.
So
And this is the first season for five substitutes. So we've never had five substitutes before. This is the season that launches it, and I think
oh wow,
five substitutes will change football, the face of football, because you have so many different tactical variations now with five subs. Bringing on five players,
mm,
it really refreshes your team. If you're a team that presses a lot or you're very, very defensively sound,
yeah,
you can keep up that consistency for 90 minutes. Whereas before, if a certain player tires out or you have a certain player on a yellow and you can't really move him because you're tactically, you know, efficient if you do, now you can sub him out and bring someone else in, continue pressing, continue. playing as fast and as hard as you want to. So it's going to be, I think, also it's going to favor the, like you said, the big teams or the teams with depth. If you
Yeah,
have five substitutes and you have two for each position, you're just going to kill people. You know, it's the smaller teams that will suffer because who
yeah.
can they pull off their bench?
Mm-hmm. That in the scores. Yeah, so I mean that's really something that I'm looking forward to in many respects. And I mean, we've had what new six new signings so far this season, and we're still getting reports and rumors that we're still gonna get some more, and that's quite refreshing to even hear as well that we're actually getting more signings. In terms of rumors, I heard there's this young man in in Udinese in Italy, who
Yeah.
is on Spurs' radar according to the reports. And the tweet by Fabrizio Romano earlier on today, where he said that Tottenham and Udinese are working on the last part of the deal, on the finalizing the last part of the deal. And Udogie wasn't in the Udinese squad today due to the negotiations. I mean, they were having with Spurs, but that he'll stay on loan for 1 year. So obviously we'll buy him and then loan him back. Now tell me something, Chuma. Okay, I know he's 19 years old and obviously quite talented, and the fee is reported to be in the region of about 25 million euros or 20 million euros. Now I know that these days, I mean, it's not what's the word? It's not um, unusual to find. I mean, teams buy pay players and loan them back straight away. How does that work? I mean, if you explain to what you might call the layman, if I want a better expression, why am I buying you if I want to have to loan you out straight away?
Well, several reasons. Because one, uh, you still have to fulfill the homegrown quota in your squad.
Right. Okay.
So Destiny Doge is a foreign player; he's Italian. So now we're also out of the EU as well. All these different things. So you need to balance your squad out next season to bring him in.
Right. Okay.
And then you're loaning him back to the club. If he had moved to Spurs, that means you would have three left wing backs. And in order of hierarchy, you have Perisic, Session. He would have been the third.
Mm,
So in terms of splitting playing time, it would not have really been worth it. And he's developing. He's just coming to the limelight in the last 18 months. He's really like pushed himself into the forefront in Italy. He's gotten national team recognition as well at 18, 19. He's a really, really good player, but he's not exactly had that much experience. Why bring him in if you're not going to play him? That's something that's always stalled young players at Spurs, was not getting Sessing on himself. If you remember first season,
yeah.
Pochettino bought him. Mourinho came in. Mourinho didn't have a use for him. He was always injured. It sort of hampered him and
Yeah.
stifled his
That
growth.
kind of stifle his growth. I feel like. I mean, that was
So why don't you? Yeah, with Destiny, you do the same. You let him. I mean, and I mean, the guy has a wonderful name, Destiny. You know, it's like
I know.
I mean, what an affirmation for the young man as well. So we look forward to having him. I hope the deal goes through. Zaniolo as well is another one.
Yeah.
That's
So I mean, you still have this Danilo thing playing around, and apparently negotiations are ongoing. And again, the reports are that we'll complete a deal next week. I know a match doesn't make a star, and I know that. I mean, people who watch and scout for these players know what they're talking about. So, I mean, but I watched him in the match against us, and I didn't see for a 40 million pound player in that. I mean, did you?
so in that game, no. But I've watched Zaniolo over the years, and I like him. I think he's a very good player. I understand why Conte wants him or Conte likes him. He can play as an attacking midfield player, or he can play either the Son or Kulusevski role as well. So in that way, he's multifaceted, and he's someone that would be a good asset to have. The 42 million, it's Spurs and it's Daniel Levy.
Mm.
So have 42 million. What I think is going to happen is it's going to be a loan deal. It's going to be exact. He's going to play out like Kulusevski, I think, I believe. It's going to be a loan deal, and then probably like 8 million a year loan taken out from the final figure, and then make it permanent for like 30 or 20 something. Or that's what I think is going to be because Roma need to recoup cash. They've spent some money. They just even gotten Jorginho Wijnaldum from PSG on loan. They've gotten Dybala, who is on some astronomical wages with them as well.
Oh wow.
So they need the money. So knowing that, when there's blood in the water, Daniel Levy, the shark, moves in. So I feel it's going to be a loan deal.
my
And I think Spurs also go for one centre back because of the fact Rodon has moved and Tanganga is on the verge, I think, of probably Milan, possibly. I think Spurs will buy one more central defender as well. So wait to see who that is. I think it's Milenkovic of Fiorentina. I'm not quite sure if it will be him, but he's one that his price is decent and the club are looking to sell him to make some money. Fiorentina don't have that much money. They want to make some buys as well before the window ends. So see how that goes.
So I mean, we've had a quick look at the key areas um, where we've had players, but there's still some well, I won't call it noise, but there's still the fact that there's some areas of our team that's probably need a bit more strengthening. And if I were I mean a coach or someone analyzing the team from a side from afar, I would think, okay, maybe we need one more central defender and maybe one a creative midfielder. What do you reckon?
No, I think that's been addressed with the Zaniolo thing. I think I've listened to a lot of Spurs fans and I've read a lot of stuff even on our platform as well, Nigeria Spurs platform, where they keep talking about this creative attacking midfielder, and that's all well and good. But if you watch Conte's football, it's not about that guy. That's why Ericsson struggled when he moved to Inter. He doesn't really necessarily need that kind of midfield player.
Mm,
It's good to have, but he doesn't need his creativity comes from the two tens. So that's Son and that would be Kulusevski. That's what their job is. And then the wing backs as well. So he's more that's why he's so focused on buying the best kind of wing backs. He really needs a wing back or he needs wingers. That's where his creativity comes. It's not from center. He needs central midfielders that are solid, that can move the ball forward quickly, that can control possession, that can stop the opposition. That's all he wants his central midfielders to do. He's not looking for a creative breakdown. Breakdown should come from those guys, and it should come from them moving the ball from side to side and trying to get it as quickly vertical as possible. So when I see people say, "Oh, Spurs need this creative guy to break down," the breakdown should happen from those guys in the front and those wing backs.
mm,
When it's not happening, it means they're not functioning well enough or they're not utilizing their ideas enough. It's not from that creative guy. It's good to have the creative guy if you have him, but his system means that guy is not going to play at least 60% of the games. He only uses it like 40% for the really big boys.
mm,
So yeah, but the defenders, I feel you on the defenders. I think one more central defender, I think, because Sanchez, I think, slots in better for Romero than he does when he plays left side. I think he's better right side. He uses his right foot. He can bring the ball forward with right foot, even though he's not that good. But you need someone else for Dyer. I really think you need someone who is good enough, or someone or a situation where you can move Romero to Dyer's position and bring someone who is as capable as Romero. So I think yeah, center defender is still needed.
interesting. Very interesting. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Come On Ye Spurs TV. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. To subscribe, you need to click on the subscribe button at the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Also, if you need to get notified anytime we go live, please go to the bottom right hand corner of your screen again, and you see the the bell notification, right, which allows you to get notified anytime we go live. Um, so yeah, I mean, if you haven't done so already, by all means, please do so at your earliest opportunity. Right. So as we were saying about the team and the areas where we need strengthening, and I mean obviously the rumors about players coming in. We also have rumors of people who are leaving as well. I heard that Villarreal have completed the purchase or the well the deals for um, um,
Also,
Giovanni Lo Celso to return to them because he was on loan with them last season. Now, what do you reckon?
I saw I'm seeing the figures that have been bandied about, and it's very derisory. I saw 12 million pounds, 14 million pounds, and I was like, my goodness, no, 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 no.
A big
This is insult.
because
Yes, this is yeah, you're taking the mic. Like, why would you, why would you go? But they're going that low because Spurs need to get rid of him. So they're doing a Daniel Levy move on Daniel Levy. So Spurs need to get rid of those players. Those players to the point where they're not training. They don't have squad numbers. That's Winks, Tanguy Ndombele, and Lo Celso. He's not going to integrate them back into the squad.
yeah,
That's how crazy it is. Even if they don't go, I don't think those men are going to play. So
I think
we're in a position where I heard Marseille were close. Marseille were sniffing around in Nombele, but the wages. I think Daniel Levy said if you're taking him, then you're taking some of those wages, and Marseille just balked at that and just ran off. So we're left holding the bag.
yeah. If you're on Instagram, we're on Instagram. If you are on Twitter, we're also on Twitter, and our Instagram handle is Common Ye Spurs, coys.tv. So commonspurs.tv, and it's also Common Ye Spurs on Instagram, and sorry, it's on Twitter as well. So follow us on those channels as well, and leave your comments, and share this channel with those who are close and dear to you. Now, tomorrow's match um, obviously brings us to the fact that we here at Common Ye Spurs TV we have a live post-match chat here, and for you to join us, remember to tune into this channel um, at 5:30 hours, and we'll bring you live chat and analysis of the match afterwards. You can tune in, you can join in the conversation. All you need to do is ask, and we'll add you to the conversation. So, very much look forward to seeing that. If you, like I said, if you get notified, you are already aware that this has been set up. So you just go up there and click on that link
Mm.
for when the time comes, and you can watch the match. We can watch the match together, and then we'll run through the analysis. Sorry, we'll go run through the analysis after the match, rather. Yeah. So very much look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Yes. Um. So that for the promoting of tomorrow's game. Now, if you had to choose a player in Southampton, and you said, look, it's a must-have for us as a player, who would that be?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear that? Chuma, can you hear me? Chuma? Chuma, I think you're frozen. Oh dear. Okay, that's the joy of I'll pause this while I get Chuma back.
That's fine. That's fine.
Welcome back. We lost Chuma for a bit there, and he's back. And I was asking him, what player would he choose if he had to choose a player from Southampton? One player.
I'll I'll take back Kyle Walker Peters because uh, I think he's a wonderful wing back, not a fullback. And when he was at Spurs, he was playing fullback, and you could tell he wasn't as good as fullback because of the defensive work.
You know,
He wasn't really good at.
interrupt you there, Chuma, this is for good reason. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you mentioned um, Kyle Walker Peters being a good wing back, right, and not a fullback. Now we had this, well, I won't call it raging discussion on the forum. Like Conte uses fullbacks rather than wing back, and I thought to myself, no, Conte is a wing back player, and I was a wing back coach who sort of understands how to convert midfielders from, or even attackers, from being what you might call out and out strikers to wing backs. And the classic example was Victor Moses in Chelsea, and he became a really really solid wing back while he was there. And the other thing also about Conte's style is that he always has those wing backs arriving in the penalty box every time,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So, and I know you've said this before about how he overloads on one side, and then on the other side, the other fullback is attacking. So they just, the defenders won't even have time to turn, bomb forward, or even, so they're busy holding their ground and trying to ensure that nothing bad happens in the penalty box because they've got such an overload of players coming in. Now, how would you sort of differentiate between the fullback and the wingback? Maybe you want to explain that to our viewers and listeners.
well, in my opinion, you always have to preface with in your opinion. In my opinion, a fullback's job is defensive first. The wingback's job is to be part of the midfield.
Mm.
So the fullbacks you have usually in the game, they are two-way players. They can go forward if needs be,
Mm-hmm.
but they are mostly there for defensive purposes. They keep that line of four if you're playing four at the back.
Right.
The way Conte plays with his wing backs as midfield players that turn to strikers.
Mm.
That's the difference. And so, if someone is saying, I saw the discussion you were having on the platform as well. I just didn't want to get into the mix of it, but I saw the discussion, and you were right. There's a distinction between a wing back and a fullback.
Mm.
Fullbacks can be wing backs, but not all of them can be.
Yeah.
Wing backs rarely ever make very good fullbacks. You find out either they are guys who I call them, they're like what's the word now? What's
Marmites?
the word now? They're like, you know how you say your relapsed version of your religion. They are relapsed wingers. They're wingers that just didn't make it or weren't as good. I case in point, I give Danny Rose. No one remembers Danny Rose as a left winger. I watched him, he wasn't that good. But he had that thing of bursting and going forward and everything else. And so they decided to turn him into a fullback. And no one remembers his first couple of seasons as Spurs as a fullback. They booed him. He was not very good at tackling, but he was so good attacking wise. Pochettino utilized that and utilized him and Kyle Walker and said, look, just bomb forward. That's what two of you are really good at. Kyle Walker had the advantage because he had very good recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of it, both of them were just so forward focused. Ben Davies was a better fullback because you can see it now. Fullbacks can turn into central defenders like Aspilicueta for Conte at Chelsea. Now you're seeing Ben Davies.
Yeah.
Those guys are defensive first. So Davies is proof of what it is. The wing back is not Davies isn't the wing back. He's a fullback. But now he's turned to center back
Mm.
because he's defensive. So that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah,
See how it goes.
it's very difficult to fault, honestly. I agree with you totally 100%. Um, so for those of you who follow Common Ye Spurs TV, remember tomorrow we have um, a match against Southampton. It kicks off at 3:15 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Join us for live um, broadcast, live stream of post-match chat and analysis of the match. If you want to join us, please send us a DM. We'll happily have you on either as a guest or as a contributor. So yeah, that's the season we're looking forward to. Now, okay, so here I'm thinking to myself, where there's a lot to look forward to this season. People, some people are casually, sorry, well, I would say guarded in their optimism, right? And
Hmm?
others like go for it and don't give a toss in terms of who's going to come first, who's going to win it in terms of the Premier League, and where each team will end up come the end of the season. Now, I saw a few, I think more than a few actually, quite about probably about 50, 60 people who had made predictions about league positions of the teams come next year. I noticed that not one single person had us as title contenders. Now, A, do you agree? B, what's the basis for that sort of what's the word? Lack of optimism to even want to consider that we will be there or thereabouts challenging. I mean, I know that we've had quite a um, good time in the transfer market and the acquisitions we made this year, and there's more to come. But do they actually translate into a championship winning squad? What do you reckon?
Well, I look at Man City and Liverpool, and I understand why they are favorites. You know, they have world class coaches, they have uh, set patterns, and they have a culture of winning.
Mm,
So, in with those characteristics, you're front and center one and two. However, Spurs also have a world class manager, and for the first time in a while, we have a pattern of football that is consistent.
yeah.
So I have Spurs down as top three. I remember I put the joke in there in the group that top three could be one, it could be two, or it could be three. So at worst, three, at best, one. And you get laughed at because you're a Spurs fan and you're crazy and all that. But I look at this guy and I say, look, there's nothing to lose. And I understand why the pundits will never pick him, but the people think the aim of preseason was no, the preseason was to get them as fit as he could get them quickly, as opposed to when he did it in January and or toward the end of last year, and then you saw the running, you saw how fit those guys are. Now they are fit from the beginning. I
Mm,
think it's a whole different ball game. But Man City and Liverpool are the favorites because to them, winning has become their culture. Spurs are trying to get a winning culture going. So top three, but we'll see. We'll see how the season. I'm very optimistic, really, really optimistic. I don't even care what kind of results we get in the first couple of games. I know the players are primed. So
yeah, I mean, I'm also very, very, also have to call conservative in my optimism. I mean, I don't want to I almost I feel as if I'll jinx them if I start to sort of talk too much in a positive light. But yeah, they look like the team really looks good. The squad looks really impeccable. So yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. Yeah, just give the coach time to do his magic, and then yeah, we call him the other great one, Togo, right? Because
the other great one indeed, Don Conte.
Don Conte, sorry, yeah, it's Don Conte. We always compared him to Mourinho, who's the great one. So yeah, um, we're happy to have.
Looking forward to tomorrow, and you know I'm only looking at the positives for tomorrow. I'm not even thinking negative at all. And you know,
Absolutely.
but regardless of result, I'm still optimistic. Regardless, so
So
there we go.
on a final note, if you had to name your top four for next season, who would it be, and in what order? I'll give you mine.
Go on.
Go on then.
Oh, I should give you mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
go on then.
Um. Uh. To be honest with you, I can give you. I can't give you an order. I can give you my top four, but I can't give you an order. So my top four are Spurs, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
Uh-huh. Now I won't do you and say I won't name what order they'll be, and I'm going to go for same lot for top four. But I mean, I have to be optimistic and say that we will win it. And I won't even go about talking about the other teams who will come second and who will come third or fourth. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's what we have. That's my view. And on that note, I want to we'll see you guys who join us tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, by all means, please subscribe to the channel, share with your family and friends, like and comment, and we'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs. Have a good night, guys.
Yes.